welcome into the Sheriff Review of Louisville's 3 losses in 2014. Louisville lost in really close games to Virginia, Clemson, and Florida State. And a lot of times people refer to the final plays of these games, the James Quick play, the third down play against Clemson, the drop punt against Virginia, and then a couple of the dropped interceptions and fumbled interceptions, frankly, against Florida State. A lot of those plays are pointed out, and I just wanted to go through all of those and sort of, say, okay, what other plays and what other occurrences actually happened that caused Louisville to lose these games. So let's get started. First play of the game actually is huge. Louisville, Will Gardner to Devontae Parker in his second game back. He gets a huge play, gets it all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Devontae maybe doesn't have the same burst that he normally has, but that is a tremendous play. And what's unfortunate about this is that Louisville does start at the 4-yard line on first down, and they do not get any points. They actually go for it eventually on fourth down, and on first down they get no push at all, no room to run for Michael Dyer. Gerald Christian does get the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line. They have 2 plays to run from the 1, and they just get absolutely nothing. And so, very unfortunate to not get points here with a start like that they had. So, we're also going to show you this fourth down play because it's very important and it's very similar to what Louisville did against Clemson in its final play against Clemson to lose the game. Very similar in philosophy and style. Not exactly the same, but the same basic idea. So, we're going to stick here with the Clemson game, show you the first part of the game in the first quarter. First time that Clemson touches the ball on a punt return. Probably one of the worst punt returners in the league. Takes it to the house on the cards. There's a non-call for a block in the back. The officials do not make it. But what's really frustrating here is that Quick and Donovan both make the same cut, both make the same mistake, and bite on the same fake. So there's a lot of other guys downfield that are there to make the play, and they just don't. So you're about to see the block in the back. It comes actually behind Donovan and Quick, and you can see it very clear as day right there. So, it goes down. Anything can happen at this point. A lot of players there to maybe bring Humphreys down. But then here, going back to Florida State, pick 6 opportunity. The ball goes right off Charles Gaines' hand, hits the ground. Charles is off to the races if he can come up with this ball and what would have been Louisville's second points in the game, and instead it's Louisville's first missed interception of the day. But Louisville's defense was dominant in the first half. I mean, they were absolutely all over the place. Here you see B.J. DeBose just running over the center and just getting to Jameis Winston and wreaking havoc because they really, really did assert their will, and Florida State could do nothing. And here's another missed interception, pick 6 opportunity, this time from James Burgess. He jumps the route over Nick O'Leary, and that should be an interception. That should be a touchdown. That should be Louisville's 3rd touchdown of the day, and instead Florida State retains possession. Now, I'm showing you this play here, Jameis Winston getting to the edge, because it's a sign of things to come. Jameis, basically, they're just testing, and they haven't fully figured it out yet, but they're figuring out that they can get to the outside of Louisville. And Florida State, I believe, studied a lot of Clemson's tape, which we're going to go through here in a little bit, but of how to get to the outside of Louisville's defense and create room to run. You see Keith Kelsey kind of overrun the play a little bit. James Sample missed a tackle. He missed an angle and had an opportunity there. But then Louisville really dodges a bullet when Jameis Winston misses a throw downfield. We're going to show you the plays Louisville misses. We're going to also show you the plays that Florida State misses. But then this is the John Miller love fest because, honestly, this is some of the best run blocking that you can find on the internet. Look at John Miller, the right guard. He knocks the defensive tackle, gets upfield, hits the linebacker. I'm going to slow it down for you there. He's number 70. He's right in front of Gerald Christian there. Look at him hit the defensive tackle and chip him over. Hewley's in control, and then he gets upfield, hits that middle linebacker, and Michael Dyer has a lot of room to run. If he can beat the safety, it's a touchdown. He does not beat the safety. But all that does is give Louisville an opportunity to really showcase John Miller some more because they continue to run right behind him. And Michael Dyer keeps taking advantage of the holes that John Miller is providing. And John Miller is now a 3rd-round draft pick for the Buffalo Bills. He's going to have a great rookie year. I already know it. And then this is the final icing on the cake. Great run blocking. Michael Dyer taking advantage again, rips his chest open. But this is all John Miller. I mean, look at how John Miller finishes his block into the end zone. Again, right guard, number 70, pushes this guy all the way in. And when you could put a guy on his back in the end zone for a touchdown, that is big-time football. So great effort there from John Miller. Now here, going to Virginia, this is a tip ball from Max Valles, and it's going over to Virginia's safety. A year ago was the #1 interception leader in the country a year prior to this, and they get great field position here, and all they have to do really is throw the ball up to a tall receiver who Andrew Johnson is covering, and it's 6 points for Virginia. Not a long journey, not a big distance to go, not really even a great player there for Virginia, but he just has a physical advantage. Going back over to the Florida State game, you see Carlos Williams get the outside, and we talked about it with the Jameis Winston run. This is Florida State getting the outside again against the Louisville defense, and that's a problem for Louisville, and you see it again with Dalvin Cook kind of making an outside run. But Louisville almost gets out of this possession clean because they do get out of this possession clean because James Burgess actually intercepts this ball finally. The third interception would be of the day. Instead, it's just the first because Louisville dropped the other two. But again, James jumping the route against Nick O'Leary. James really did a nice job against Nick O'Leary in this game. He just jumped right in front of the route. Nick O'Leary, of course, gets the body slam, but Louisville gets the football, and James needs to do a little bit better ball control. But then, quick change, quick strike. That's the staple of Louisville's offense with Bobby Petrino. This time to Devontae Parker, who else? And Louisville gets down there into scoring position. And then the play that they score on here to Dyer, they set up a play before with a rollout from Gardner, and it's a thing of beauty because you see number 43 from Florida State really bite on the fake and leave a huge hole for Dyer to run through. All right, now going over this, as soon as Florida State gets the ball back, of course, it's the theme of the day in this game, interception. Gerard Holloman, the second made interception of the day for Louisville. I have no idea where Jameis is going with this ball. There are 3 guys in the area. Holloman doesn't have to go very far to make this play, and he does. It should have been the 4th interception of the day. Instead, it's just the 2nd, and then Louisville does score a few plays later with Gerald Christian on a bad throw from Will Gardner, but they get down here. Now, going to Clemson, this is the second quarter. Reggie Bonifant gets sacked, fumbled, and it's a corner blitz from the boundary side of the football field, and Reggie just doesn't see it coming. This is a rookie mistake. Louisville's actually in max protection here. They have 7 players protecting Reggie to throw to 3 different players. No one is open. Reggie does not see the play, and the ball comes out, and he's winding up. But I mean, Michael Lee Harris may be open late, but there's really nobody open on this play at all. Michael Lee Harris is at the bottom of your screen. There's just nobody open, and Reggie has to see that blitz coming. He's got to either run or tuck the football and just protect it. And so having that play in a game where Clemson didn't score any offensive touchdowns was really bad. And then here against Virginia, you see Will Gardner overthrowing Eli Rogers in the slot. Eli is, he's 5'10". He's not a big, tall guy like Devontae, but, I don't even know if Devontae catches this ball. It's so badly overthrown. Will had some happy feet against Virginia. Virginia's defense was incredible in this game, so you got to give them credit. But this is a throw that Will really should make, and it leads to a field goal. And Virginia's first 10 points of the ball game come off Louisville turnovers, and, we know that Louisville lost that game by 2 points. So that is a big deal. So moving back over to Florida State, this is a problem. Okay, Louisville dominates. They're up 21-0. They should be up more. Okay, fine. But going to prevent defense, and you just saw how much room there was to run on that play, but then look at how much room there is to run on this play, because Louisville is just nowhere to be found, and Florida State's able to move the ball all the way into the 10-yard line, and we're going to show you this for emphasis because, I mean, wow, how much room can Louisville give in prevent before the end of a half? And when you get the ball down there, anything can happen, and anything does happen. But Louisville could get out of this because they almost make another interception. And this is the 3rd missed interception of the day. Should be the 5th interception of the half. James Burgess jumps, who else again? Nick O'Leary, and really just bats the ball down. And can't really fault James too much because he's playing incredible football, but hauling those plays in is the difference between being a big-time draft pick and being back into college for your senior year. And then you see what happens here. The spark, Florida State gets a fumble recovery in the end zone after Sheldon Rankins causes a sack and messes up the quarterback's running back exchange by putting the offensive lineman in the way. And then Carlos Williams fumbles the ball, and Florida State, Nick O'Leary actually recovers the ball in the end zone for Florida State's first points. Great play by Sheldon Rankins. You want to see that happen out in the open field. If Louisville's not in prevent defense, Florida State's not in position for a mistake like this to really cost Louisville. Going over and starting the third quarter in Clemson, we start seeing the outside plays that Clemson really was running effectively against the Cards. And so, you see what Clemson was able to do there. Really simple play. And then they go downfield. They get themselves in the field goal position. And this is an honest possession for Clemson. They did a lot of nice things here. And the Louisville defense held, and they made a long field goal, 45-yard attempt, to get their 17th point. So a really nice possession for Clemson. But then again, going to the outside, working the outside of Louisville's defense and really kind of trying to isolate Charles Gaines when they can. And then you see another example of James Burgess trying to one-hand interceptions, and that's a misplay for Louisville. And really, it doesn't really hurt Louisville too much in this regard because Clemson doesn't actually score on this possession. But you can see, again, they're working the outside of the field, and they're getting yardage, and the sum of the yardage really is a bigger deal than any other part of it. So they do score on this. They hit the field goal off the post. I apologize for that. Just omit that other thing that I said before because they obviously did score. But then here, going to Virginia, deep fade ball. This is Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson really had a bad day against Virginia. They kind of picked on him a little bit, but that's a great throw and a great catch on a wide receiver. And then you see the zone read play from Grayson Lambert. They suck in Lorenzo Malden. Malden has no help. Gerard Holloman has to go out there and make a play, but they have a blocker to account for him. That's a real easy touchdown for Virginia. Again, they scored their first 10 points off turnovers. That was a legitimate score. And then, again, Louisville's punting out of their own end zone, and, they get the ball at the 35-yard line, and they have a very easy chip shot, or actually a long field goal, to score their 20th point. Okay, back to Florida State. This is the third interception of the day for Jameis Winston. It starts the second half. And, of course, Gerard Holloman does fumble the football. And it is Jameis Winston that knocks it out. However, this isn't a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, except for the fact that it may have sucked a little bit of momentum out of the crowd because, they did give up that touchdown off of a fumble, off a play that Louisville made. Now here Louisville is making a play again, and then a mistake is made. The reason why this doesn't really hurt Louisville on the scoreboard is because they actually do get the ball back. But you can see how Gerard Holloman just needs to let the end of the play be the end of the play. But Louisville does stop Florida State on third down. Great play there by Johnny Richardson. Amazing play. But then an even better play on fourth down from Nick Dawson-Brents on fourth down to stop this play and get the ball back for the Cards. Look at Nick Dawson-Brents. He's the circle there. He goes up here and just blasts the fullback, creates a problem for Carlos Williams, and the Louisville defense is able to hold on fourth down, get the ball back. They go deep, do what Devontae does, and they get themselves into field goal position, and they do settle for a field goal, but not before Will Gardner almost throws a pair of interceptions. So Louisville gets out of this jam, just like Florida State got out of a jam there, I guess. But this is 3 points for Louisville. Maybe you can argue that Louisville should score a touchdown here, but you got to be happy with the 3, especially after the interception for a fumble. And then here, busted play. Florida State, you can scheme it, draw it up all you want, but Jermaine Reeve just does not cover his man. He absolutely just, I don't even know how to explain it. Sometimes there's just a bust on defense, and that's Jermaine Reeve's fault. We're going to show it a bunch of times for no reason at all, just because Jermaine Reeve really is just jogging down the field behind an open receiver for a long bomb. So, and it is a Heisman-winning quarterback, so you can obviously make that throw. Now, 3 plays in a row to the right side, and this is where Clemson really schemed. The Clemson game or Florida State really schemed the Clemson game because 3 plays directly to the outside, same exact play actually, all to Dalvin Cook. The third one is probably the not clean play, but again, right side from Jameis Winston to Dalvin Cook, outside pass plays, easy completions, basically an extension of the run game, and Louisville's just not defending it, and then disaster. Dalvin Cook, inside trap run. Louisville has the defense to actually stop this. Keith Kelsey comes inside the hole. He should make that tackle. Gerard Holloman's in position. He doesn't even try to make the tackle. Dalvin Cook's off to the races. That's a play that's really, really well defended, but nobody executes. And so, you'd like to see Keith Kelsey come in, but he is chasing a really fast player from behind. Gerard Holloman is there. Make the play. And so that's really, really frustrating if you're Todd Grantham, because you made the right call. You put players in a position to succeed, and they just didn't. And, Terrell Floyd, James Sample, they were chasing from behind. They had no hope there. We're going to show you this again just because we're a glutton for punishment. But, if you want to see Burgess, kind of is supposed to be behind there, but he gets blocked. Kelsey comes from behind. He's not there. Gerard Holloman, again, missing the tackle. Tackling really eroded for Louisville in the second half of the season, unfortunately. But we'll talk about that later on in a different video. Louisville dodged a bullet there from Nick O'Leary off of his fingertips, and then again outside pass for a first down. It's the accumulation of those plays that really make a big difference. You look at 6-7 yards, not a big deal, but then again inside trap for a big run, pops it out to the outside. Dalvin Cook, big-time player. It sets up a field goal opportunity that Florida State actually misses, and that's a big-time break for Louisville out because Robert Aguirre is one of the best field goal kickers in the country. Now into the fourth quarter, we're going to show you Virginia first. Of course, everybody's seen the James Quick fumble, and this is a problem from Michael Lee Harris because really, it's not James Quick as the returner, but Michael Lee Harris needs to be far away from that situation. It's unfortunate. It gives Virginia the ball back. Louisville's in position; they have the lead, and Virginia basically just takes advantage. They don't have to do anything on offense. Louisville loses by 2 points after having a 1-point lead, and they were getting the ball 5 minutes to go. Now, in the fourth quarter, Will Gardner throws what should be an interception to Clemson, and Clemson drops it. So we're going to show you the mistakes that Clemson makes as well as the mistakes Louisville makes. But then Louisville, interception there, James Burgess. Instead of one-handing, 2 hands, James Burgess is an interception machine in these games. And so we're checking all these things out. We're starting to notice some trends. James Burgess is really just great play playing the underneath of that crossing route, and Louisville's defense was amazing at getting interceptions last year, and some of the plays that they didn't make were a big deal. Now I'm highlighting this false start here because it's the first of 2 when Louisville is down by 3 with 12 minutes to go, and they were in a great situation there on second down, and then you see him here on third down with another false start. First one was from Jake Smith. The second one was from Tobiah Hewley. And, that's your center. And then Louisville's forced to go for it on fourth down with Dominic Brown. They do not get it. And that gives Clemson some really, really nice field position. And, again, they're going to the outside. And this is a play that goes off Charles Gaines's chest off a tip that if Louisville can get that ball back, they're in great position. And instead, Dominic Brown gets the ball back after a punt and fumbles. And that's one of the reasons why Dominic Brown was out of favor after this Clemson game. He only got 1 carry after the Clemson game, and that was in the Notre Dame game. And Louisville, really did not a very good job of converting on third down in this game and creating first downs. And Clemson, again, working the outside. And we're going to start seeing that Clemson's really trying to isolate Charles Gaines. And if you look at Charles Gaines, number 3, you can tell that he's not really interested in contact. He didn't really do much there. You can see him here on the replay. How is number 13 blocking him? He's not. Charles just avoiding contact. Charles needs to engage. And then you see here, again, outside run play towards Charles Gaines's side, and James Sample needs to fill this hole big time, but he doesn't, and he fills it late, and Clemson's able to get a first down. Again, over here to Charles Gaines, and you can see Charles, and this is his side. He needs to get into the game instead of not having a seat. And this isn't me picking on Charles at all. This is Clemson picking on Charles because These are plays designed to go after Charles Gaines, and here you see Charles trying to make a tackle on the running back, and that's embarrassing. And having that happen to you in the open field when you're there and have contact, you should make that tackle, and he doesn't. So Clemson really did a nice job here in the fourth quarter of bleeding the clock by going to Charles Gaines' side. When they got inside the 5, however, you saw Louisville's defense tighten up, and Clemson has to settle for a field goal. And the big deal about this is that instead of it being a 3-point game when Louisville gets the ball back with time, now Louisville gets the ball back down 6 after a made field goal with not a lot of time at all. But we all know famously what happens when Louisville does get the ball back. James Quick, beautiful play from Will Gardner, perfect time, and you'd like to see your track all-state champion football player, outrun everybody in the open field to the end zone. However, this is a nice angle there from Clemson, and I think, just being the number one receiver for James Quick for an entire game, I think it really took its toll on James, and that's one of the reasons why he was able to get tracked down. But Louisville gets inside, the 10-yard line with 4 downs, plenty of time, and they just don't get it done. The first down play is the best play of the bunch, the play to Kai De La Cruz. If Will leads Kai just a touch more, that could be a touchdown. And then Dominic Brown's second final carry of his career, just no room to run. And then, of course, the spike on 3rd down, and then, of course, the play on 4th down where Will gets basically the ball kicked away. Eli Rogers, I think, personally, probably got interfered with in the end zone, but is it enough contact for the ref to throw the flag? I don't know. Me being in the back of the end zone, I thought so at the time. Now here, okay, this is Jermaine Reeve just getting trucked by Nick O'Leary. Bad tackling form. Go up there, be more physical than the tight end. But Louisville, again, misses an interception here, and this is a play that's up another pick 6 off the hands of Gerard Holloman. You see Florida State's receiver off the Nick Dawson tip get his hands on it a little bit, so that that disrupts Holloman's rhythm a touch. But you'd really like to see Gerard make this play and seal the game for the Cards. And another great play for Nick Dawson Brents in this ball game. Props to him. And then the very, very next play, a ball thrown so bad that 2 Louisville fenders actually collide at the point of reception, and instead of catching the ball goes off of James Burgess and Gerard Holloman's hands into the hands of the receiver, causing Keith Kelsey to not tackle the guy because he thinks that it's an interception going the other way for Louisville. He's got his hands on the guy right there, and instead it's a Florida State touchdown. Inexplicable, just like the first half. In the first half, the fumble that goes for a touchdown. Sometimes teams get lucky, and Florida State got all of the breaks in this night. And so here, Louisville still has they're still in the ball game, plenty of time. Devontae Parker makes another big time play, 12.5 minutes. He gets away with a shove, but it's a beautiful thing when you have a great receiver who knows when he can make contact and when he needs to not make contact, and he's able to make plays, and that's why he's in the NFL. Now, what Louisville does here on first down is, they do a really great job of getting down into scoring position. Michael Dyer does that all by himself, going around the left side from off tackle, and then Louisville gets down into the goal line with first down, 4 downs from the 1-yard line. Same situation as the opening part of the game, but Michael Dyer only needs 2 plays to put it in and regain the lead here for Louisville. So 31-28, 8.5 minutes to go, and that's a nice play over the middle for Florida State. No problem there. Louisville's defense is playing very, very well. Terrell Floyd out there knocking balls out from Rashad Green. Green needs to make that play, but Terrell Floyd went and knocked it out. And then you have Lorenzo Mall and Sheldon Rankin sacking Jameis Winston. Incredible play, great power play there from Malden and Rankins, and they do an incredible job. And it's at this point that really Louisville needs to just close the game. And it's 2nd and 7, 5 minutes to go. Louisville's going to run to win, but Jamon Brown false starts, and it takes Louisville from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 12, or 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13 it says on the screen, but it looks like 2nd and 12, and then Louisville instead throws a crappy route to the running back and then has to punt out of its own end zone. And when you need a big punt, you get a 30-yarder like Ryan Johnson gave Louisville there, and gives Florida State incredible field position with 4 minutes to go. And then the outside, Dalvin Cook, James Sample takes a really, really bad tackling angle, bad form. Keith Kelsey also takes a bad angle here, but really this is on Sample because he's the first line of defense. Dalvin Cook tries to tackle him over his shoulders, and just nothing's there. Really, really bad break, bad luck, but bad technique there for from Louisville, and Florida State's able to regain the lead. And then Louisville has a chance. 3.5 minutes, down 4. You need a touchdown. It's the most dangerous situation in football. And Louisville drops that 1st and 10, and then on 2nd and 10 they get some nice yardage. But if that first down had been caught off the hands of Christian, you're talking about a first down already. Instead, now it's 3rd and 2. You go deep to Devontae. That doesn't work out. So now you're facing a 4th down. And it's actually an incredible play call over here to Charles Stanberry, who sneaks off. Will Gardner just needs to throw a little bit better ball because it goes off the fingertips. It's 4th down, now 2.5 minutes to go. But Louisville has all 3 timeouts. And so the game is not over at this point, even despite Charles Stanberry dropping and Will Gardner not throwing a very good ball on 4th down. But if that play happens, Louisville's in an incredible position of 2.5 minutes midfield and 3 timeouts. But instead, Florida State gets the 3rd down. Louisville's used 2 timeouts, and it's a simple play out of the backfield, busted play, and a demoralizer that really pushes the final margin of the game way into the balance of Florida State. There's no overcoming that with that amount of time, and it's a really easy touchdown there for Florida State. Nobody covered that guy out of the backfield. So anyway, I wanted to go through those plays, wanted to go through those series quarter by quarter, because I think it's important to remember what happened last year, see if anything kind of manifests itself in the coming season, and sort of understand that a lot of the players and a lot of the things that happened were unlucky. Some of them were execution, and some of them were first year sort of jitters and jinx and stuff like that. So really excited about the 2015 season. Louisville football is in the right hands. You saw what Bobby Petrino was able to do in year 1 of the ACC in his first year with a new quarterback and all the different changes. So very, very excited about Louisville in 2015. Can't wait to get everything going and start reviewing games and everything like that. But stay tuned to thecrunchzone.com. We're going to have position previews for you. We're going to have all the coverage from practice and training camp. And we just cannot wait to go through another season with you guys. And thanks everybody for listening. If you're still listening now, turn it off because it's over. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.